Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Hello. Don't know where the dog camera is. Who cares? Maybe tonight. I'm gonna have Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick on tonight regarding, the DNA and everything. Give us updates on our cases that we've funded. So she's gonna come on. Also, I got more images in the Idaho 4 case from the Idaho State Police. I mean, they seem like they're different images. 2000 something. So I was actually gonna do this show and then maybe come on after that and then do those as well. I don't know. Why is the hat? I don't know. Why is the hat? Anybody know what that means? Why is the hat? If you're gonna be a troll, try to be better about it. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see. Wow. Let's see. In this case right here, in the Nancy Guthrie case, this is from yesterday. It says the gloves found approximately 2 miles from the Guthrie residence in a field near the side of the road were packaged up by PCOS and sent overnight on 2/12, and they arrived at their private lab in Florida on 2/13. The FBI received preliminary results yesterday on 2/14 and are awaiting quality control and official confirmation today before putting unknown male profile into Codis, the national database unique to the Bureau. This process typically takes 24 hours from when the Bureau receives the DNA. Well, they put that into Codis and there was no hit. And it's weird when you watch the news, they get so devastated. Even Ritter's like, oh, yeah, this is just such bad news. Oh, God. And to me, it's like, it doesn't mean anything. If you're not in Codis, who cares? It's quicker, but you just do the genetic genealogy and you find the person that way. There's no, it's actually the same. Nobody should be freaked out about anything. Now, it was reported on Fox News that the DNA, didn't match. The unknown DNA in the house also wasn't in Codis. Okay, and then the unknown DNA in the house, the unknown DNA on the glove wasn't in Codis. But somehow Ritter said the DNA on the glove and the DNA in the house didn't match. I didn't see, that was not in the reporting that he was referring to. So I don't know if he just assumed that or what he was saying, but he said that the DNA in the house and the DNA on the glove did not match, although when he was on as a guest, the reporting wasn't that at all. It just said that both weren't in Codis. It's irrelevant these days, right? With genetic genealogy, you just load it up and there you go. Now it's harder if it's like usually if it's a black person or a maybe Hispanic person. It's harder to find them in using genetic genealogy because their representation isn't as strong on the genealogical services, and then going to the further step of uploading it to a place like GEDmatch or Family Tree DNA or something like that. So it's harder, it's hard in those circumstances, but it's not doable. Okay. Hey, but by the way, if you guys could help support the channel on this live stream right here, just so we're not at zero, you know, it'd be cool just to have something on this shorter live, because it won't be treated as a video. They don't do it that way. All right, the one with the DNA profile recovered is different. Okay, let's see. The one with the DNA profile recovered is different and appears to match the gloves of the suspect. So they found a whole bunch of different gloves. You know, the ones that says, investigators collected approximately 16 gloves. I'm not sure they say approximately 16. I mean, that seems like a pretty specific number. In various areas near the house, most of them were searchers' gloves. I mean, I'm not sure what these searchers are doing. Just walking around and chucking their gloves. I mean, why would you take the glove off? Anyways, and you just sort of toss it on the ground. The one with the DNA profile recovered is different and appears to match the gloves of the subject in the surveillance video. The FBI has and will continue to provide assistance on whatever timeline is provided to us. Right. Turns out, though, the video that we watched the other day that we figured out where the glove was and everything like that. I think that was on New York Post. Well, Harvey Levin, on his video today, he said that that was not the glove. That the glove was somewhere else. You know, because the description is weird, in a field, you know. And so I don't know if that's an error on his part or what is what, you know. There's just so much bad reporting, but that's what he said. Is there somebody else live right now on this? Because it seems like it's like, you know, we got up to 140 and that's going backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards and back. Blah, 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 blah. So I don't have to do this, you guys. If people want to go out and go look up, you know, go on your own or whatever the hell you're doing, I have no clue. This is just ridiculous how YouTube is doing this. The unknown male DNA profile on a glove found 2 miles from the home of Nancy Guthrie has been run through the FBI's DNA database and did not result in any hits. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told Fox News Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt. I want to see that whole interview. In an interview on Tuesday, they just showed these ridiculously small clips. DNA recovered from Guthrie's home also did not match records in the FBI database. I guess, you know, I mean, Nanos said the sheriff confirmed that the DNA on the glove was different. Okay, see, that's in this article. That wasn't on the story that we watched. So he was right, Ritter was. The sheriff confirmed that the DNA on the glove was different from the DNA found inside the home. That's bad. That right there is bad news. You know, that's bad news. Because if they match, you'd have a home run. They don't match, then you're like, okay. So which one do you trust more, the DNA in the home or the DNA on a glove that seems similar, found 2 miles away in a field somewhere, you know? So that is interesting. The FBI confirmed the news to Fox News Digital on Tuesday. We're hopeful that we're always getting closer, but the news now, I think, is we had heard this morning that, of course, the DNA on the glove that was found 2 miles away was submitted to Codis, and I just heard that Codis had no hits. The Sheriff's Department later provided clarity, writing on X. The DNA that was submitted to Codis was from the set of gloves found 2 miles away. It did not trigger a match in Codis and did not match DNA found at the property. So there you go. It's the DNA found at the property is being analyzed and further testing needs to be done as part of the investigation. Yeah, that's not... Yeah, I mean, you know, and then when we go, oh, 2 perps, you know, yeah. I mean, it's obviously in your mind, but then it's, I don't know. You know, what are the odds that you find DNA in the house from one perp, and then you find a glove 2 miles away with the other perp? You know, that just seems not really a good chance. Hey, but can somebody out there get a channel membership or something, just so we're not at 0 on a live stream? I don't think we've ever had one of those. Thank you. Pima County Sheriff gives update on blue shirt left outside. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told Fox News Tuesday that a blue shirt seen laying along the walkway leading up to Nancy Guthrie's home had been left by federal law enforcement. There you go. Hey, thanks, T-Moral. We're not at zero. Yes. Thank you. But we're going to have Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick on tonight, the founder of IGG, and she's even funny, etc. But she's going to come on. She'll also tell us about some of our cases that we have funded, see where we're at. So make sure to watch that. Of course, since it's not, sensationalism, you hardly, people show up and they go, okay, I gotta go, I gotta watch the other guy. Look at the guy, ooh, there's something going on. Just crazy Looney Tune people, it's crazy. So be intellectually curious, you know what I mean? Like she might have something to say that you haven't thought of. Ah, Jesus. Milwaukee attorney offers $100,000 reward. Okay, let me go over here. Nancy Guthrie live update, no match in database for DNA evidence on gloves found 2 miles. So now they can do IGG on both. Maybe one of the two is a suspect. Hey, thanks, Paul Marino. I sent an email about another missing woman abducted case happening right now in Atlanta. Okay. Thanks. I'll check it out. There's also a case where a lady, I think it's in Ohio, she was at home with her husband, 2 kids, and then apparently somebody broke in and killed her while the kids were still sleeping, and the husband, I don't know, it's kind of an odd story. I did get I even found the scanner audio of it, of them showing up and etc. Have to take a look at that one. Pretty busy day though. Let's see. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said yesterday that no family members are considered suspects in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance and that they have been cooperative. Leads grow by the thousands. Testing gloves. Okay, that was older stuff from yesterday. Alright. But Fox News is the one that had the more recent reporting today. They interviewed the sheriff. Let's see this one.
Have some developments in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. First of all, the testing of that glove, the DNA testing in Florida, is complete. Now, that doesn't answer the questions about whose DNA is it and are they connected to this
they're not going to tell you if they knew.
Kidnapping, because under federal law, the glove has to be tested in the state where the glove is found. That is the requirement that the FBI has before they can put it in the Codis system. Codis is Combined DNA Intake System. That has 27 million DNA profiles. And in order to check out the DNA in that system, in the Codis system, the glove has to be tested in the state where it was found, and that is Arizona. That glove, we're told, is in Arizona right now. This is called a PCR test. It's the most sophisticated DNA test. It's the gold standard. Usually takes just a day to get the results. We are told that in the next 24 hours, once that glove is tested and the results are in.
Yeah, so they already have that.
There are stories out there that gun shops have been given around 40 names of people that the FBI wanted to check to see if people bought.
Yeah, the sheriff denied that. And that was sort of an interesting thought there, was that they looked up that exact type of holster. They found 40 different people who purchased that and then went around asking if you remember this guy. But that seems like a stupid way to do it. If you knew where they bought it, then wouldn't you just show up and look at their surveillance footage? I don't really. Why would you go, hey, do you recognize this guy? It just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
A certain type of gun, namely the gun that was in the holster of the presumed kidnapper. We told you this is a semi-automatic handgun. So the...
Hey, Paul, I don't have an email from you if you just sent it. I don't have anything from you.
What we found out is that they have already checked out the holster to see who has bought a similar holster in that area. And the names that were given to the gun shops are people who actually bought that type of holster. And it's not...
That was pretty funny, though, F3 UI, whatever your name is.
Like those people are all people of interest. But what they want to find is, you know, did somebody both buy a holster like that and buy a gun like that? And then all of a sudden, they're going to be real interested in that.
Really interested.
That person. So that is why the FBI is checking out the kidnapper and the location of Nancy Guthrie. We have received now numerous letters from this person. We are not going to talk about this person anymore.
We'll just keep talking about this person by saying this person over and over again.
Because if I tell you that he sent us another letter but didn't give us the information, and I keep telling...
And tomorrow he's going to go, well, that person that we are not talking about did not send us one today, you guys. All right, this person that we're not talking about, well, you still have never said his name, so what difference does it make?
He sent us another letter and another letter. Then suddenly when I stop, everybody's going to figure out, oh, he must have finally given the information.
No, nobody would have thought that. Let me ask you guys something. If he stopped talking about the person, would any of you thought that, oh my God, they must have got the money to him, and he said something? Would any of you thought that at all? I don't think so.
And that could screw up the investigation because that information is going to go immediately to the FBI.
Thanks,
and then they're going to do their thing. So by definition, if we keep saying, we got another one, we got another one, we got another one, and all of a sudden we say we're not going to talk, you're going to figure out that means he just gave it up, and it could then tip off the kidnapper. So we're not going to say anything more unless and until we get that information and pass it on to the FBI, and at some point then we will let you know. And also, that creates a public record for the person who would give us this information, that it could lead to the kidnapper and therefore entitle them to the reward. So radio...
That's just such a convoluted way of thinking. I think they've got a lot of backlash, and they're like, how do we get out of this by seeming like we're still helping?
Silence on that front, but there is movement. And, you know, I will say one other thing, that I spoke to a law enforcement source today who said that this is gumshoe detective.
That's exactly what we said yesterday, without having to talk to law enforcement.
Work right now, that they are just chasing down every possible lead they can to try and find the kidnapper and Nancy Guthrie. But right now, they don't have a straight line to a...
And believe it or not, I almost said the word gumshoe detective at work last night, but I don't know. I don't like that. That phrase just sounds weird. I guess it means that you might get gum on your shoe from just walking the streets so much that eventually you load your...
suspect or even person of interest. But when this DNA profile is done, maybe they will. And when this gun is possibly located where somebody purchased it and matches the holster, that could be a hot lead. But for now, it is gumshoe detective work.
Right, but that won't match the... That isn't going to match the gun. It'll just be like a gun that looks like it, you know? It doesn't mean anything. Let's see. What else was there? What are other updates? You guys have any more? I think that was basically it. That the DNA on the glove and the DNA in the home apparently do not match, and neither one of the two are in Codis. So it just means that they hadn't been arrested for the type of crimes that would force you to put DNA into Codis, or just totally innocent people. But you hope the DNA they found in the house is probably their best lead, I would think. And they need to do, I would do IgG on that first, and then take a shot in the dark on the glove found just randomly out in the field somewhere. Now, I don't know how random it was. If they happened to be searching there, there may have been a reason that they were searching there, and maybe it's close to up where they were the other day at those homes. I know the sheriff gave an interview to Fox. That's where we got this information from. Have they posted the video from the sheriff on Fox yet? I saw them referring to it and playing clips, but I'd like to see the whole thing. You see it out there anywhere? Yes or no? Hey, look at that. Elaine Talling, 63 months. What is that? 5 years, 3 months. Okay, where are the clips at? Can you send me an email where the clips are? I've looked for them even before the show and didn't see them. So here's my email. Send me the clips, please. Right there. See that? And see if you can do it really quick, like within a minute. I don't know how great. Okay, Jesus. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see the clips anywhere. Are they on YouTube or where are they at? Oh, is that what it is? Rubber-soled shoes detectives wore because they were quieter than normal. Hey, I'm glad you could look that up so quick. Thanks. Let's see. What do we got here? Sneakers. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wish I had the same, like on my channel, I wish people were more like proactive and helping. When you see something, you send it over and we can load it up. But it's never like that. It's just a struggle. Yeah, there's no clips even on Fox News Digital anywhere. So I'm not sure what you're referring to. Let's see. Hey, maybe this one.
Almost every rain jacket on the market is made with toxic chemicals like PFAS that stay in.
So you don't believe it was a burglary gone wrong? Is that what you're saying?
I believe.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right. Yeah, the sheriff also, that was the other news, is the sheriff said that he believes it's a kidnapping, like 100%. He doesn't believe in the burglary gone wrong at all. He believes it's a kidnapping.
All new at 2, Fox News going one-on-one with the Pima County
So
Sheriff.
this is the same clip that I was watching.
Sheriff Chris Nanos as the search for Nancy.
Okay, you didn't send me the link though, Anthony. Do you have a different link than the one that I'm playing right now? It's a article with clips in it. I watched it live when it was on Fox News.
Guthrie intensifies and investigators zero in on key leads. Welcome to a brand new hour of America Reports. I'm John Roberts. Thank you for filling the mail.
Developments come as the sheriff also getting new details. Exact Jonathan Hess. What
had just come from the latest briefing on this investigation. And I asked him first of all about the glove that we've all heard about, the glove that on which they had found DNA, which was being tested and was going to then be entered into the FBI.
Thanks, Kristen, I think it's the same one, right, that I just am playing. Let's see. Sounds like it. Yeah.
Codis system, which is the national tracking system for DNA that they might have from people who have committed crimes in the past. His answer to that, not good news for the investigation. Listen here to the sheriff.
It's not bad news. If it's not in Codis, it's not bad news anymore. It used to be.
The DNA on the glove that was found 2 miles away was submitted for Codis, and I just heard that Codis had no hits.
No hits on the DNA found in the glove.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
who cares?
you are no closer to a suspect as a result of the
I mean, I guess it's, you know, if it's in Codis, it's better news because you know they're a criminal already. But if it's not in Codis, like Koberger, it doesn't matter because you can do, if you think it's worth doing, I would do it on both the glove and I would do it on the foreign DNA in the home, but I would do the foreign DNA in the home first because I think that has a better shot.
DNA test, at least.
As a result of Codis.
And what I mean is do IgG, investigative genetic genealogy, on the foreign DNA in the home first.
Now, remember also, we broke the news last Friday that they had tested also DNA that was found inside Nancy Guthrie's house
Yeah, I
that
think it could
they
be
believed was
unrelated.
stranger DNA. Well, the sheriff also told us no code.
It also would be, but it is interesting if it's like in the middle of the field and it's not the gloves that they were using and it matches the type used. Almost like, but why wouldn't you, I mean, why would you be that dumb? If you're going to take the time to walk in the middle of the field to discard a glove, why wouldn't you go like 10 miles away? And then somebody else had a theory yesterday. It wasn't too bad. They sent me an email, or no, it was in the comments section. It was that they think the person just walked to the home and then they used Nancy's vehicle to drive her somewhere and then drove the vehicle back and then walked away again. You know, like put her somewhere, like took her out of the house, put her somewhere, and then drove the vehicle back. And it's, I mean, I guess that would indicate that the person lives in the area, because wouldn't you just drive it at another place and leave it on a street and then walk somewhere? I mean, it's a sort of an interesting theory that the person used, and they did test her, took her car out and tested it. But you would think, though, if they found blood, which you would have found in her car, they would have said, oh my God, they used her, you know, we would hear something about that. Seems like they're more interested in a particular type of vehicle that was driving around.
Codis hit on that DNA.
But hey, guys, if you could help support the channel with some channel memberships, you know, super chats, whatever it is. Last night we gave $500 to RAIN, which is Violence Against Women. And that's some of the good stuff we get to do with the support for the channel. Thank you.
Either. Then I talked to him about this reporting that has been out there, not repeated by us, that this was a burglary gone wrong. The sheriff said it was not. Listen again to the sheriff.
You just said and your briefings, you believe it's a kidnapping.
I believe it was a kidnapping.
Targeted kidnapping.
Yes, I believe whoever did that knew what they were up to.
So do you believe
knew who they were after?
Right. I actually agree with that. I think that's, I agree. And I think that's why there's a whole bunch of elements that point to that. First of all, it's just such a random house, you know, unless you were kind of looking at it. But even if you were observing it for a while, stalking, casing it out or whatever, that means you planned it. And then they went up. The key to me is the fact that they removed her from the home, and prior to removing her from the home, they got rid of the camera, you know, destroyed the camera that was at the front door. And they were going to try to just cover it up because all they wanted to do was block their vehicle from being seen as it was in the front of the home for her to be put into.
So, we also talked to the sheriff about these reports of the FBI going to gun stores. They have indeed been going to gun stores, but there was a report out there that they had narrowed it down essentially to 40 suspects they were asking about and showing pictures of. Here's the sheriff's response to that.
Tell me this if you can, Sheriff. Is everybody in Tucson still a suspect, or have you narrowed it down to, say, a few dozen people? We've heard, for instance, the FBI is asking about 40 people at gun stores.
That's not true.
Okay, so have you narrowed it down to a few dozen, or are we...
Well, the 40 people at gun stores is not true, he said.
We haven't narrowed it down to anything other than we have certain pieces of evidence that we're looking at to try to find this individual, whether it be DNA, whether it be that ring camera video, whether it be evidence at a Walmart that might lead us to somebody.
Couple of other important points from this wide-ranging interview, John and Gillian. I asked the sheriff if there are any indications at all that Nancy Guthrie may have been taken across the border into Mexico, just about 65 miles or so south of us here. He said no indications of that. He said he believes the FBI has been checking that, but no indications of that at this point. And I followed up with him on...
Hey, by the way, the Harvey at least is saying that the glove that was on New York Post that we figured out the location of isn't the glove that they're referring to. I don't know if we need to, Harvey puts out a lot of crap, so I don't know what the truth is.
The news that he put out a statement about yesterday, the clearing the Guthrie family, their siblings and spouses, he said to me 100% they are victims, not connected. So a lot of news, but the bad news in terms of the investigation, that DNA, neither the DNA in the house or the DNA on the glove coming back with a hit on the FBI's national database. I hate to use the phrase back to square one, John and Gillian, but if we are talking about the squares that have been moved forward, we're certainly in the low single digits in terms of this investigation. John and Gillian?
I mean, it's also got to be pretty disappointing, for lack of a better word, for the family watching this to hear him say they haven't narrowed down the search to anybody, meaning no suspects right now.
Right, well, it's because the DNA was in... I think the DNA in the house is the one... I mean, a glove found 2 miles away, even if you... I mean, if it was in Codis, it would have been a big deal because it would have been a criminal that left it there. But if it's not in Codis, that becomes less a priority than the DNA found inside the home.
Extraordinary, Gillian. When you talk to him, and you can feel the frustration in the sheriff. Obviously, he has come in for some criticism from some quarters, but I will say now, having got to know him,
including you,
a little bit over the last 16 days that we've been here, he is a man who wants to solve this crime, quite obviously. He has decades in law enforcement. There's Monday morning quarterbacking going on. Maybe some mistakes have been made. That's not for me to say. But this is a man who has a lot of compassion for the Guthrie family, really wants, just like every single law enforcement official on the ground here, they want to solve this case. But clearly, they are very frustrated, and clearly they are struggling to find out where Nancy Guthrie is and who took her.
So, Jonathan, here's something that a lot of folks I talk to are trying to wrap their head around. If this was not a robbery gone bad, if it was a kidnapping, but this idea that the ransom notes was a dead end, and we're not hearing anything from kidnappers. I mean, the object of kidnapping is you get something for the person that you've kidnapped.
Right. And that's didn't see how there's always something. Is anybody here? Amanda made a comment like 5 minutes ago, and that's the last comment.
So
Crazy.
What's this all about?
Well, that's an open question, John, and a very good
It wasn't the wrong side of the road, Scott.
question. I asked the sheriff about the ransom notes, and he said that is mainly an investigative lead for the FBI. Clearly, the ransom notes have not been ruled inauthentic or entirely authentic at this point. But the sheriff was quite adamant, not a burglary. I did ask him about, was anything taken at all? He said he couldn't talk about that. I asked him again about the forced
So he didn't answer if anything was taken.
entry or no forced entry. He wouldn't talk about
Wouldn't answer that either.
that. And he said quite plainly, there are things we are not going to tell you because they are so germane to this investigation that they could compromise this investigation if we tell you. And as we've said throughout, John, they have every right to keep whatever information they want from us. But clearly, yeah, it's a struggle. But equally clearly, the sheriff believes in his gut. And I asked him his gut as a decades-long law enforcement officer what he thinks this is. And he said, I believe it is a kidnapping, not a burglary gone wrong.
So there you go. Pretty interesting stuff. So now they're down to IgG on both the glove and the foreign DNA in the home. The DNA in the home obviously would have been on an item that they believe the kidnapper took or touched, not took, but touched, something like that. You know, something, you know, you wouldn't just like swab a countertop and go, oh look, there's foreign DNA. It's just that's not how you do it. And so now they have those. So now they're down to IgG on both of those, and I would do the foreign DNA in the home first, then as just sort of a Hail Mary, you know, fishing expedition, test the DNA, or also do IgG on the glove. Maybe do it simultaneously. I mean, there's no reason you can't do it simultaneously. So do that, and then guess we'll just see where we're at. I mean, it's just, that's where it is. That's where it's been. You know, it's no different today than it was yesterday, just because they weren't in Codis. Right? But anyways, I'm going to get going, you guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you to the few people who supported the channel. We got T. Morrill, Paul Marino, and Allie Cake, and then Elaine Talling, 63 months. All right, thanks, everybody. And don't forget, tonight we're going to have Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick on. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gregel's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking checked ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.